So you've got your characters, you've got them kitted out with a weapon and potentially in your boosters, you've got a piece of equipment in place possibly, and you've also picked out the powers that you want them to use. So now it's time to play a match. So as I said, you can either go into quick match and then just find a random match. So bronze is where you want to start, obviously, as a beginner, or if you're just starting the game for the first time. And then the alternative option is to host your own match. Now hosting a match doesn't necessarily mean you're playing by yourself, if I just show you quickly. So once you're going to host your own match, you can pick a map or you can pick random, entirely up to you. You can pick a difficulty or random, again, entirely up to you. And then you can pick an enemy. Currently Outlaw are the easiest, so perhaps possibly go with that. But as a beginner, you're going to be learning all about them anyway, so whatever you play is again up to you. And then you can either choose to make the lobby public, which means that basically when you host the match, anyone can join, or you can make it private and then you host the match and then you can invite friends, or if you prefer, play by yourself, which might not be that fun when you first start out, but it's a good place to learn from. I remember when I first started playing Mass Effect 3 multiplayer, I did start several matches as private on my own, did the first few waves just to get a feel for the game, the enemies, the weapons, the powers, you know, so it's not a bad thing to do if you want to, but be prepared to flatline quite a few times, and you don't really want to use your Medigels or boosters or anything like that for those test matches because that's a bit of a waste, you know. If you prefer to search for certain criteria, you can change these accordingly and then go down to join, and it will try and find you a match with the same specs that you've requested, bearing in mind you won't always get it, so just be prepared for that. Or you can choose to create the match. So if I just create the match now, and as you can see, I've got 3 private slots because I made the game private, because obviously for this purpose of this video I don't want anyone to join me. And then when I'm ready to start playing, I can hit ready up, or I can tap the ready up button. And then just to confirm, in the mission settings you can see that it's custom, random, bronze, random, private. You can change that at any point, so I can change it now if I wanted to, but obviously I won't because that would be silly. Again, you can pick your own characters in here again, so if you change your mind and maybe you want a bit of synergy with your teammates, you can pick accordingly. Or if you want to customize a little bit while you're waiting for people to come in, I would advise against any heavy customization while you're in the lobby. I think it's unfair against other players if they're waiting on just one person who's customizing stuff. And another thing that really annoys me as well is when people go on shopping sprees when they're in the lobby and there's other people waiting. Don't do that, right? Just be respectful of the other players. If you're going to go on a massive shopping spree, and I mean buying 1 or 2 packs, that's fine. Probably everyone does that. Well, not me, but some people do that. 1 or 2 packs is fine. That doesn't take very long. But if you're just sitting there burning through 1,000,000 credits, that's going to take forever. And people are there to play. That's why they're in the lobby. That's why they search for a game. So if you're going to buy a lot of packs, back out of the lobby. If you're going to spend a lot of time deliberating over powers, back out of the lobby, because people want to play. They don't want to sit there waiting for you. And I'm not saying that people want to play match after match after match straight away. Obviously people want to breathe or go to the toilet, whatever, but they don't want to sit there for 5 minutes waiting for you to finish doing what you're doing. So just, again, bear that in mind. Just be considerate, you know, of other players. Okay, so when you're in the lobby, you can actually inspect to see what other people are using. So obviously, as you can see there, it says me, infiltrator, what level I am, and then above it, apex rating. Don't set too much store by this rating. It's made up of how many challenges you've completed, how many packs you've opened, what level your characters are. It doesn't really tell you anything. Like, having a high apex rating doesn't necessarily mean that a player is good. I mean, I haven't really put that many hours in, and I'm still only just really mastering silver at the moment, and mine's yet 3,000, and I don't even know where that's come from. I've opened a lot of packs, so I'm guessing that's where most of it's come from. So don't set too much store by this apex rating. And similarly as well, there's something else I'll talk about in a minute. Yeah, so you can inspect the lobby. So basically, if I press X now, it will show me, well, there's no one in the lobby at the moment, but it would show me their weapons, it would show me their powers, their boosters, and their equipment. So again, if let's say there were 3 people using biotic characters, and I'm using tech powers, I might mess with their explosions, they might mess with mine, so maybe I would then choose to go for a biotic character. So then I just back out, pick myself a biotic character, and then obviously when you're all ready, you hit ready up, and then the match will start. As you can see, a bit of a countdown timer. and then when it hits 0, obviously the match begins, but I won't do it now because I'm not actually trying to start a match. If I just back out then, back to the main lobby, so I think I've explained a lot of this stuff already. Okay, Prestige. This is a good section to get yourself acquainted with. So the top option is challenges, and basically this counts towards your challenge point score. And again, it means very little. Having a high challenge point score doesn't necessarily mean that that player is good, and having a low one doesn't necessarily mean that player is bad either. Completing challenges is completely optional, and you don't get anything other than a challenge point score from doing them. So you don't actually get any packs or anything. I suppose you get a nameplate, but that's just cosmetic. Again, having one doesn't necessarily make you a better player, and not having one doesn't make you a bad player. So if I just show you an example, so if I complete a certain number of waves, I'll get 100 points. If I earn a certain number of medals in this case, I'll get a certain amount of points. And if I earn a certain amount of points while playing multiplayer, I'll also get another amount of points. And eventually I'll unlock those, and I'll get this nameplate, and I'll get 300 challenge points added to my tally. I don't actually know where the challenge points are. I think they actually disabled the leaderboard or something. But again, just to reiterate, Apex rating, challenge point rating means very little. Having a high one doesn't mean they're good. Having a low one doesn't mean they're bad. It's hard to determine if a player is going to be good or bad. We all have good games, we all have bad games. Sometimes I'll drop into a low difficulty and I'll try a class I've never used before. That's where I would try it. And sometimes I do really badly. But that doesn't mean that overall I'm a bad player. It just means that that particular class, that particular kit, and those weapons, for example, aren't very good. And I'm finding that out for the first time. So give people a chance. As I said, in lower difficulties you are going to get those players that aren't very experienced. But you know, that's all part of the learning curve, and everyone's going to start at the same position. And even if you are experienced, once you get a new kit or anything like that, you're going to be playing for the first time, and you're not going to know how good they are, how bad they are until you try it out. So basically the point I'm trying to make is don't judge players before you actually play with them. More than once as well. You can't make an assumption just on one game, because it could just be a bad game. And yeah, don't judge too much by the Apex rating and challenge point rating, and don't be put off by it either, because as I said, it means very little. Let the score do the talking at the end of the game. And also you learn well, I guess it's a bit too early to be talking about this, but you learn a lot just by looking at a player's loadout and their equipment and their character level and that sort of stuff, and their weapon level. That probably gives you a better idea of how much time someone spent playing this game and how experienced they are versus Apex rating or challenge score rating. Because as I said at the start, a lot of beginners feel that bringing more than one weapon is good, and they'll sometimes bring 2 really heavy weapons. That doesn't say that they're good. That tells everyone in the lobby that they're a beginner, because they're bringing that many weapons, and the 2 heavy weapons, for example. Whereas someone who brings a single weapon but has level 3 equipment, has the max level weapon, and it's a rare weapon, for example, that person's probably spent a lot of time playing or a lot of money on the game. But either way, they're bringing level 3 equipment on a max level rare weapon, so it's got to count for something, right? Just one little note about hosting your own matches. Please, if you haven't got a good internet connection, don't host your own match, because no one's going to thank you for it, and people are probably just going to rage quit out anyway, so you'd have no one to play with. So you might be better off just joining someone else's game. Just food for thought. Okay, so everything I've talked about so far has been the build up to you finding and starting a multiplayer match. Now, I'm not going to go into too much detail here, but when you get into the match itself, it comprises of 6 waves. So you've got 6 normal waves, and then you've got the final wave, wave 7. Basically, wave 7 is a 2-minute countdown, and what you need to do in that 2-minute countdown is just survive. Enemies will keep respawning, doesn't matter how many you kill. And basically what you need to do is, by the time the clock hits 0, you need to be at the extraction zone. If you're not at the extraction zone, by the time the clock hits 0, you won't extract. You'll still get XP, but you'll get less XP because obviously you didn't extract from the mission, from the match, and you may also get a reduction in the amount of credits you earn as well. So a good strategy is to wait on the opposite side of the map where the extraction zone is, and then with about 30 seconds to go, the entire team makes their way to the extraction zone, and then they'll extract, in theory. I see a lot of people these days, because the game is still quite new, they go straight to the extraction zone with 2 minutes left on the clock, and they end up having to survive for 2 minutes of being attacked over and over and over again. A lot of people die, A lot of people don't get extracted. I, however, walk over with 30 seconds to go. Because the enemies have killed everyone at the extraction zone, they've started to head over to where I am on the opposite side of the map, and I'm passing them, obviously going to the extraction zone. So by the time I get there, 5 seconds to go, nice and empty, find a nice little quiet corner, extraction, happy days. Well, for me anyway, and a tough lesson for everyone else. But that's the sort of thing you'll learn as you observe the game. So worst case scenario, if you die in a match, or well, in a wave, sorry, and you can't get respawned or you don't gel or whatever, watch your other players, see what they're doing, see what they're doing well, see what they're not doing well. You learn a lot by spectating, and that's what the spectator mode is for. So don't just go and do something else, check Twitter or whatever. Keep an eye on your players and just, or better still, if you've got a mic and you can give them a perspective from behind their character, because obviously they'll be looking at the front, maybe they'll appreciate that. Obviously ask them first, because nobody likes to have crap shouting in their ear while they're trying to survive during a wave when they're already a man down, if you know what I mean. Okay, so that's the final wave, and I explained that one because it's quite important. Now, waves 1 to 6, as I said, are normal waves, and basically waves 1 and 2, and then 4 and 5, these are just normal survival waves. So you'll get a certain number of enemies come at you, and you just need to kill them and survive, and that's all you need to do for waves 1, 2, 4 and 5. Now, wave 3 and 6 are what we call the objective waves, and you'll get a random objective assigned to you. It could be something like hack a terminal, or defend a position, or assassinate a target, so on and so forth. You'll learn them as you play the game. And these are the money waves, so you want to complete these objectives as quick as possible because you get more credits depending on how fast you complete the objective. Work together with your team, try and coordinate if you can, concentrate on getting the objectives done. Killing doesn't count for anything. Killing should only be done if it stops you from completing the objective, or if it's the assassination wave, in which case killing is the objective. If you see players running around getting non-stop kills, not playing the objective, they're not a team player, they're not helping you, they're not helping themselves. So play the objective during waves 3 and 6. Get them done as quickly and as efficiently as possible. That's the goal. And then extract on wave 7. Obviously this video is just a quick basic breakdown of what to do before and then during a match. You'll learn a lot just by playing the game itself. Alright, so that's pretty much all the information I believe that is essential for starting out in multiplayer. There's probably one or two things that I didn't go into too much detail about, but those things you will encounter or you'll experience for yourselves when playing the game. And there's only so much I can tell you. I mean, I could tell you a lot, but until you actually play the game for yourself, me talking about it doesn't really put it into perspective. So I've given you the basics, so how to find a match, how to host your own match, how to pick a character, how to kit out your character with skill points, how to pick a weapon, what to pick, and keep an eye on the weight. Prestige, that's just to do with stuff that doesn't really matter to anything. There's leaderboards, which nobody really pays attention to, not really. Tutorial, do that first. Strike teams, as I said, explained in a separate video. Store, I suppose I should mention. So once you've completed a mission, you get a certain amount of credits, and then you can buy these packs. These packs contain everything, so they will contain the one-use boosters, the consumables. They will also contain the in-game items such as Revive Pack and Cobra RPGs. And then if you buy better packs such as the basic and higher, you'll also get potentially new characters, potentially new weapons, and mods for those weapons. So as you can see, the prices do vary. When you play bronze and you complete a match successfully, you'll earn enough to buy 2 packs of basic if you extract. Once you play on the high difficulty silver, you'll be able to earn enough for 1 advanced pack. And then if you play on gold, you can buy 1 expert pack. And then premium pack, at the moment you can't play just 1 match and buy a premium pack. You have to play at least 2 matches or more, depending on your difficulty. And so what you buy is up to you, but in one of my earlier pack opening videos, I did explain what I do personally, and I think it's actually quite a good tactic to follow. So if you want to check out that video, I'll also link it on the screen and in the description. But basically I talk about why I start with the basic ones and then I move up afterwards and not go straight for the premium ones, for example, even though they potentially could contain something really good. This video is getting quite long now, so as I said, if you want more information about what I do and why I do it and method behind it, then check out that video. Alright, so I think that's pretty much everything. If I've missed anything that you feel is essential, then let me know in the comment section below and I'll pin it or make a future video or something. But I believe I've covered all the basic stuff for getting started with multiplayer and what to expect, obviously, once you jump into your first match. Right, so I'm just going to go have a nice little cup of tea, and then I'll probably jump online for a few matches myself. If you enjoyed the content, consider tapping that like button, I really do appreciate it. And for more videos, stay tuned, I'll be uploading quite a few more in the future. Plenty of pack opening videos on the channel already. Apex mission explained, as I said, and then the first pack opening video, which talks about why I opened the packs in the order that I opened them. So yeah, go out there, have fun, work as a team, play the objective. Don't take too much store by the challenge score and the Apex rating, because they mean very little most of the time. Alright, until next time, thanks for watching, thanks for listening, take care, and I will see you later.